The Viridian contingency Robert Rob Vance, a seasoned State Department crisis negotiator known for his cool head and extensive humanitarian work, flew through the turbulent skies over the Viridian Republic. Below, the once vibrant rainforest nation was a scar of civil strife. 4 years, brutal conflict had decimated the population, and his rescue helicopter's rhythmic blade chop was a solitary, ominous heartbeat in the wilderness. He was on a vital extraction mission, skimming over a town reduced to a ghostly ruined place where a single mortar strike had turned homes into dust. A sudden flash and a violent shudder threw his helicopter off course. Instantly, Rob's training kicked in. With practiced, precise maneuvers, he fought the shuddering controls, but intense ground fire forced a hard landing. He found himself, heart hammering against his ribs, in the belly of the beast, the chaos of a war zone. Emerging from the damaged cockpit, the devastation of the settlement was a grim testament to the merciless struggle. Amidst the ruins, his eyes caught an unexpected sight. A lone girl. She couldn't have been more than 8, small, dirty, and clad in rags, but her eyes held a depth and composure that belied her age. Her name, he would learn, was Elara. Unlike most children who would be paralyzed by terror, she stood with a stoicism that spoke volumes about her resilience. She was clutching a tiny, threadbare rag doll, a fragile testament to her grip on hope in the apocalyptic landscape. For Rob, time seemed to halt. In Elara, he saw a ghost of the life he'd left behind, a painful echo of innocence he hadn't realized he missed. Moved by her quiet strength and the desperate reality of her situation, he made an instant, life-altering decision. With a gentleness that belied his rugged exterior, Rob approached her. Kneeling to her level, he spoke his name, showed her his State Department insignia, and promised her safety. He spoke of a land far from the desolation and danger. A spark of resolve ignited in Elara's eyes. She nodded, slowly lowering her doll, and extended a small, grimy hand. Her trust was as overwhelming as the surrounding pain. Rob held her hand as they retreated to the crippled helicopter. Their journey out was perilous, but as the engine rumbled back to life, Rob felt a profound shift. He wasn't just a rescue coordinator, he was Elara's lifeline, her guardian, and the hope for a future beyond the conflict. To decades in Willow Creek, Rob Vance, the man who had navigated geopolitical minefields, had never been prepared for the emotional journey of fatherhood. Moving Elara from the scorched earth of the Viridian Republic to his quiet, rural home in Willow Creek, Oregon, was a monumental leap of faith. He wasn't just bringing her to a new address, he was introducing her to an entirely new world. Elara, quiet and wide-eyed, absorbed everything. She was a quick study, adapting with the same fierce resilience that had helped her survive. There were moments of confusion and deep homesickness, but through it all, the bond between Rob and Elara grew unshakable. Her stoic silence gradually gave way to a growing comfort. Rob watched her giggle at cartoons, chase fireflies in the yard, and carefully examine vegetables at the local farmer's market. Every day was a step toward a new normal. Rob taught her to read and write, introduced her to classic American literature, and watched with pride as she became an integral part of their small community. He soon discovered a remarkable trait: Elara's passion for engineering and complex systems. From tinkering with his old pickup truck in the barn to building intricate models for her high school science fairs, she possessed a brilliant, innate talent for mechanics and logistics. Rob, recognizing her genius, supported her fiercely, buying her advanced toolkits and arranging mentorships with local aerospace engineers. Their time spent together in the garage, Rob watching, while Elara deftly solved complex mechanical puzzles, cemented their unique father-daughter relationship. Parallel to her academic success, Elara's curiosity about her origins surfaced. She was drawn to the vivid colors and rhythms of South American culture. She asked Rob questions about her homeland, her lost family, and the cultural roots that still pulsed within her. Rob, understanding that her past was a crucial part of her identity, showed her photos from his missions and even helped her connect with Viridian diaspora communities in the city, nurturing a delicate balance between her American presence and her South American heritage. The debt repaid. 20 years passed. Rob Vance, the strong, vibrant man who had flown helicopters through fire, was now confined to a hospital bed. He was critically ill, struck down by a rare, life-threatening condition. Local specialists were stumped, but an international medical consortium offered a sliver of hope: an experimental procedure. The catch: the procedure required a unique, exotic component, a rare metal found only in a dangerous, lawless region of the Viridian Republic, the very nation where he had found Elara. Obtaining it was a maze of bureaucracy, perilous landscapes, and conflicting local interests. The news shattered Elara. The man who had been her rock, her entire support system, was slipping away. She looked into Rob's usually focused eyes, now clouded with pain, and knew what she had to do. It was a mirror of Rob's own act of courage 2 decades earlier. Elara decided to return to her homeland to secure the components. Her decision was met with disbelief and apprehension. Rob, in his lucid moments, protested, fearing for her safety. But Elara was resolute. She had a chance to save her father, and fear would not deter her. Armed with her sharp mind, indomitable spirit, and exceptional engineering skills, she embarked on her journey. It was more than a rescue mission. It was a journey of love, immense gratitude, and undying hope. Landing back on the Viridian soil was a strange mix of the familiar and the foreign. This time, Elara was not the helpless child. She was the highly skilled engineer with a clear objective. Navigating the country's broken infrastructure and the labyrinth in local politics, she discovered that the rare metal was controlled by a violent warlord. Elara's engineering expertise proved invaluable. She wasn't an operative, but she was a master of logistics and structural integrity. She devised an audacious plan, utilizing her skills to subtly disrupt the warlord's operation, allowing her to extract a small quantity of the precious metal without triggering a full-scale confrontation. Finally, after a suspenseful, heart-pounding execution, she held the small container of the fugitive component. It was the key to saving Rob's life. Exhausted but fueled by desperation, she began the arduous race back to the States. She rushed to the hospital, the small container clutched tightly in her hand. The doctors immediately integrated the rare metal into Rob's treatment. Hours of anxious waiting turned into a miracle. Against all odds, Rob's condition began to stabilize. The man who had once rescued a girl from a war zone was now saved by that very girl, a strong, brilliant woman. Elara had repaid her debt, not out of obligation, but out of pure, deep love. She had saved the man who had changed her life forever, bringing their extraordinary journey full circle. Rob Vance had not only found his purpose on that harrowing mission, but had also found the greatest love of his life, the resilient girl from the Viridian Republic. They were, irrevocably, family, bound by an unbreakable tie of love and gratitude.